The wind blew dry red dust across the broken floor of Outpost 7K. It had been empty for years. No lights, no people, just silence and wreckage. Ryan Cole, a human cargo pilot, walked slowly past a rusted gate. His boots crunched over cracked metal. His ship, a small hauler named Starlight Rat, was parked just outside. He was only here to salvage old parts, or so he thought. As he walked deeper into the ruined outpost, his comm link beeped. "Hello? Human? Are you single?" Ryan froze. He looked around. The voice had come through an old public signal band, one nobody used anymore, a child's voice. "Please don't go. I saw your ship land. You look kind." His heart began to race. "Who are you?" he whispered. "My name is Saya. I'm 8. My mom is hurt. Please help." Ryan checked his scanner. No life, signs, no heat, nothing. Still, the voice was real, and it was scared. 10 minutes later, Ryan carefully moved a fallen beam near the base of the comm tower. Underneath was a small hiding spot, half covered with cloth and metal. A small alien girl peeked out. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes wide and glowing softly. Her clothes were dirty and torn. She looked up at Ryan. "You came." Ryan knelt down. "Saya?" She nodded. "I told Mama someone would come. I told her humans weren't all bad." Ryan's voice was calm but serious. "Where is she?" Saya pointed behind her. "Inside the bunker. She's sleeping, but she hurts a lot." Ryan followed the child into the cracked bunker. Inside, on a thin bed of cloth, lay a tall alien woman. Her body was covered in old scars. A fresh wound across her side was leaking dark blue blood. She was still breathing, but barely. Ryan quickly pulled out his medkit. For the next hour, he cleaned the wound, sealed it with foam, and gave her a slow drip painkiller. He didn't know much about her species, but he had seen wounds like this before, in war zones. When she finally opened her eyes, they were sharp, distrustful. "Who are you?" she whispered. Ryan answered gently. "Just a pilot. I heard your daughter on the comms. You should not have come. I couldn't just ignore her. Or you." She closed her eyes. "She is too trusting." Saya hugged her mother's arm. "I told you he would help. He's not like the others." Ryan stood. "I'll stay until you're better. Then I'll leave. No trouble." The alien woman didn't respond. That night, Saya sat next to Ryan as he worked on a portable heater. "You have a family?" she asked. Ryan shook his head. "No, not anymore." Saya tilted, her head. "So, you are single?" He chuckled. "I guess I am." "Why?" She smiled, shy but hopeful. "Then you can marry my mom. She's really kind. And pretty too." Ryan nearly dropped his tool. "What?" "Back on our world, we always said if someone saves your life, they should stay. Forever. Mama's lonely. And you're nice." Ryan looked toward the sleeping woman, then back at Saya. "That's a big decision." Saya nodded. "I know. But someone has to take care of her. I'm just a kid." Ryan smiled softly. "Let's just get her well first, okay?" Saya giggled. "Okay, but think about it." Outside, in the shadows beyond the outpost, 3 red dots blinked. Tiny tracking drones hovered silently. They had found her, and next time, they would not just watch. They would take. The next morning, the alien woman was awake. She sat against the cold wall of the bunker, eyes locked on Ryan as he lit a portable heater. Her arms were wrapped around Saya protectively. Not a word. Not a thank you. Not even a nod. Ryan placed a warm food pack near her. "It's protein stew, human style. Not great, but it's hot." She didn't move. Saya, however, crawled over, opened the packet, sniffed it, and grinned. It smells like victory, Ryan laughed. What does victory smell like? Saya licked the spoon. Like something you never thought you'd get, but you did. The woman's lips twitched, but she said nothing. After breakfast, Ryan worked on fixing the power unit inside the outpost. The old solar lines were still intact. If he could reboot the system, he could give them heat, light, and shield coverage. Saya followed him everywhere, asking question after question. Is your ship fast? Do you shoot pirates? Can I fly someday? Ryan smiled, one question at a time. But when he glanced back, the mother's eyes were still on him, cold, calculating. That evening, Ryan sat beside the fire he built from scrap wood. The mother finally spoke. What do you want from us? Ryan didn't look at her directly. Nothing. No one gives something for nothing. I'm not most people, he said. You're a human. Ryan exhaled slowly. That's true. Your kind hunted us, took our homes, called us savages. Ryan nodded. Some did. But I'm not with the Union Army. I'm just a pilot. And why are you helping us? Ryan looked her in the eye now. Because your daughter asked, and because you're bleeding and starving in a hole in the ground. That's reason enough. Silence stretched between them. Saya sat between them, looking from one to the other. Mama's name is Rilke, she said quietly. She doesn't like people, but she's good. She sings when no one's watching. Ryan smiled. Nice to meet you, Rilke. The alien woman didn't reply, but her gaze softened, just a little. That night, Ryan went outside to check his ship's scanner. The results made his heart drop. 3 heat signatures, human-sized, moving in from the west. He turned off the scanner and returned to the bunker. Inside, Saya was already asleep. Rilke sat by the fire, sharpening a curved piece of metal. A blade. You're expecting trouble too? Ryan asked. She didn't answer, but he saw her hand shaking slightly. Not from fear, from pain. Ryan sat across from her. Why didn't you call for help earlier? Rilke stared into the fire. Her voice was low. Because last time, help came with chains. Ryan's chest tightened. She continued. When my husband died, they tried to take Saya, said I had no claim, that we were displaced property. Ryan's hands clenched. That's not right. That's the law. To them, she's just a code carrier, useful genes, not a child. Ryan's voice was firm. She's a person, and she trusts you. I'll earn that trust, he said. You already did, she whispered. I just haven't admitted it yet. Outside, red dots moved again in the darkness. The intruders had arrived, weapons ready, and one of them whispered into a comlink. Target acquired, the girl is alive, prepare extraction. The wind howled louder than usual. Ryan stood just outside the bunker, watching the horizon. Dust clouds moved unnaturally, too smooth, too fast. Footsteps, silent ones. He ducked behind a half-buried comms dish and tapped his wrist scanner again. 3 targets. All armed, closing in. He whispered into his mic. Rilke, get Saya underground now. Inside the bunker, Rilke didn't argue. She pulled Saya close and opened a small trap door behind the sleeping area. Go, hide. Don't come out unless, I say. Saya looked scared. What about you? What about him? Rilke kissed her head. We'll protect you, like you protected us. Saya climbed down quietly. The trapdoor closed just as a loud metallic clang echoed outside. Ryan crouched behind an old turret mount. His blaster was old, 3 shots max before overheating. Not great odds. The first figure came into view, a tall man in black armor, helmet. Down, rifle in hand, the symbol on his chest a private military group, Thorn Syndicate. The second and third flanked the entrance, moving like trained predators. Scanning. Target confirmed, one of them said. The mother's alive. No sign of the child. Ryan took a deep breath, then fired. Pew. The first soldier dropped, hit in the leg. Before the others could react, Ryan rolled behind cover and shouted, "You're not taking anyone!" The second soldier returned fire, plasma bolts slicing into the wall beside Ryan's head. Inside the bunker, Rilke grabbed her blade. "Keep them busy," she whispered. "I'm ending this." She moved with speed no injured person should have. By the time the second soldier reached the entrance, Rilke leapt from the side wall. Her blade slashed across his helmet, sparks flying. He screamed and fell, helmet cracked open. But the third attacker was ready. He fired at Rilke. She cried out, falling to her knees. Ryan saw it all. His rage boiled. He sprinted forward, tackled the last attacker, and they both tumbled into the sand. The soldier was stronger, but Ryan was angrier. He punched, grabbed the enemy's weapon, and turned it on him. Zap. Silence. Dust settled. 3 soldiers down, Rilke on the ground, breathing hard, blood leaking again. Ryan rushed to her. "Rilke, no, stay with me," she smiled weakly. "That was fun. You're bleeding again. A lot." "Just a scratch," she lied. "Check Saya, now." Ryan opened the trap door. "Saya, it's safe now." No answer. "Saya." He climbed down. Empty. The space was empty. A small glowing toy lay on the ground. Her favorite one. And next to it, a hole in the wall, freshly burned open, a tunnel. Someone had come in from underneath and taken her. Ryan's heart dropped. He ran out. "She's gone." Rilke's eyes widened in horror. "No. She must have been taken through a hidden tunnel. Maybe backup was waiting." No! Rilke tried to stand, but her legs buckled. Ryan caught her. "I swear to you, I'll bring her back." Rilke clutched his shirt. "Promise me." "I promise." "Not just as a pilot. Promise me as the man she believes you are." Ryan nodded. "I'm not letting her become a lab rat." "Then hurry, before she disappears forever." Above them, the clouds thickened and, far in the distance, an unmarked black shuttle lifted off. Inside it, Saya screamed through a muffled gag, reaching for the stars. Ryan pushed the throttle of his ship, Starlight Rat, to maximum burn. The enemy shuttle had left a faint ion trail. Barely. Visible, but just enough for a skilled pilot to track. His eyes were locked on the scanner. His hands shook. Saya had only been gone for 20 minutes, but every second felt like an hour. Behind him, Rilke sat in silence, wrapped in bandages, her eyes cold and unreadable. "You're quiet," Ryan said, breaking the tension. Rilke didn't. "Look at him." "Because if I speak, I might scream." "You knew someone was after her." She finally turned to him. "Yes." She told him the truth then, about the war, about her late mate, a resistance leader who stole data from the Union's deep science labs. "They were making a child," she said. "Not just any child. One that could unlock old technology. Devices made by the progenitors, creatures who lived before even the first stars aligned into galaxies." "Saya," Ryan whispered. Rilke nodded. "She was made without her consent before she was even born. Her DNA carries codes, keys, hidden in her blood. I ran the moment I found out." "They're not after you," Ryan realized. "They only want her. To open things that should stay locked." Ryan gritted his teeth. "Not happening on my watch." The trail led them to an asteroid belt near a dead planet. A hidden lab floated inside the debris, dark, silent, and shielded. Ryan docked silently. "We go in together." Rilke shook her head. "I'm still weak. You go. I'll cover you from the ship." Ryan didn't argue. He took his blaster, a tracker beacon, and Saya's toy that he had found, hoping she'd see it and know he was close. The lab was old, broken in places, no guards, no lights, just humming machines. And one distant sound, a child sobbing. Ryan moved through the halls, avoiding camera feeds. He reached a small cell at the end of a dark corridor. There she was, Saya tied to a chair, gag in her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks. He knelt. "Hey, Saya, it's me." Her eyes lit up. Ryan pulled the gag off. "I'm here. I promised, didn't I?" Mama, is she? She's fine. And mad. So let's get out before she finds someone to yell at. Saya giggled through tears, but before they could move, a voice echoed. How noble. A human risking his life for an experiment. A tall figure stepped from the shadows, gray armor, red glowing visor. He wasn't union, he was private, hired a gene harvester. She's worth 10 planets, you know. What's she worth to you? Ryan raised his weapon. More than your life. You don't understand, she's not a child, she's a lockpick, the key to Vault 12. And you're just a paycheck. The harvester aimed. Ryan fired first. The lab exploded into chaos. Ryan grabbed Saya and ran through the side corridor. Shots followed them. He threw smoke flares and ducked into a vent. They crawled for 10 minutes until they found the airlock. As he sealed the inner door, Ryan whispered to Saya, "Hold on tight." Outside, Starlight Rat was waiting. Rilke opened the bay. Ryan and Saya jumped in just as plasma bolts slammed into the hull. Back in the cockpit, Ryan shouted, "We have to go now!" Rilke fired the thrusters. "Hold on!" They blasted away from the asteroid. Behind them, the lab caught fire, but the voice from the comm returned. "You can run, but we will always find her. The key belongs to us." Ryan muted the channel. Saya. Huddled in his arms, he looked down at her. No, she doesn't belong to anyone. Later that night, as they floated in a quiet system, Saya slept in her mother's arms. Rilke looked at Ryan. "You came for her. I made a promise. She loves you. She barely knew her father. But she looks at you like you're something more." Ryan didn't respond. He just watched the stars. But inside he already knew. He'd fight every corner of the galaxy if that's what it took to keep that little girl safe. The stars outside the ship looked peaceful, but Ryan knew peace never lasted long. He sat alone at the control panel of Starlight Rat, checking star maps and updating fake ID codes. The enemy was still hunting Saya. If they wanted to survive, they had to disappear forever. Behind him, Saya tiptoed in, holding something small and white. "Hey, Captain Ryan," she whispered. He turned around. "You're supposed to be asleep." Saya grinned. "I couldn't sleep. I was working on something important." She held up a folded cloth. It looked like a tiny white cape made from bandages and leftover scraps. "It's for Mama, for her wedding." Ryan blinked. "Her what?" "Her wedding with you." Before he could answer, Rilke walked in, leaning against the wall, still weak but recovering fast. She stared at the cloth and sighed. "Saya, he saved us, Mama, twice. That means something on our world." Ryan chuckled. "I thought it was 3 times. See? Even better." Rilke rubbed her eyes. "Saya, we talked about this." I know. But I still think he'd make a good husband." Ryan raised both hands. "Let's survive another week first, okay?" Saya pouted, then skipped out of the room, humming a tune. When she was gone, silence settled between them. Rilke spoke first. "She's just a child, but I won't lie. Part of me sees why she trusts you." Ryan didn't look at her. "You don't have to say anything. I didn't do it for praise." "I know. That's why it matters." Their eyes met. For the first time, Rilke didn't look like a wounded survivor. She looked like a mother who was starting to believe in something again. They spent the next day working on the escape plan. Ryan rewired the ship's transponder to make it look like a mining vessel. Rilke gathered the last of her husband's data cubes and locked them inside Saya's toy, hidden in plain sight. They planned to land on a planet called Eliara, deep in neutral space. No law. No union, no syndicates, just forests, old farms, and silence. "It's not much," Ryan said, "but it's safe." "Safe is all we need," Rilke replied. But Saya had other plans. She sneaked into the med bay and recorded a message on Ryan's data pad. "To Captain Ryan, if we crash or if you leave or if Mama says no, I still want you to know, you're my favorite person ever. I told the stars about you, Then she placed the tiny bandage wedding dress on his bunk and smiled. That evening, as Ryan adjusted the ship's course, Rilke came to him, holding the tiny cloth in her hands. She says you're her starfather. Ryan chuckled. What's that? A father not by blood but by choice, someone the stars send to protect their brightest lights. He looked away, swallowing emotion. I'd die for her. Rilke's voice dropped. Then maybe we don't have to pretend anymore. She leaned forward and kissed his cheek, just once. Let's reach Eliara first, then we talk about dresses. Ryan smiled. Deal. Outside, in the black silence of space, a single drone floated behind the Starlight Rat, silent, cold, and watching. Then it turned and disappeared into hyperspace. The enemy now knew where they were going. The planet Eliara appeared through the clouds, lush green forests, wide rivers, and a sky that looked untouched by war. Ryan smiled from the cockpit of Starlight Rat. Almost. There, he said. Rilke stood beside him, wearing a simple tunic. Her wounds had healed, but her eyes were sharper than ever. Saya sat behind them, hugging her toy. Will we be safe there? She asked. Ryan looked at her in the mirror. As safe as stars in the sky. But far behind them, hidden in a gravity shadow, they were being followed. Just as they entered the planet's atmosphere, alarms blared. Incoming vessel detected. Lock-on confirmed. Ryan cursed under his breath. They found us. We were careful, Rilke hissed. How? Ryan looked at Saya's toy, remembering the hidden data cube. The beacon, it must have activated. Rilke grabbed Saya, pulled her into the ship's secure room. Don't come out unless we win, understand? Saya's lips trembled. But do you understand? Saya nodded and the door sealed. Ryan took the pilot's seat again. A black ship was descending fast, larger, heavily armed. They'll try to shoot us down before we land, Ryan said. Then we shoot. Back, Rilke replied, sliding into the gunner seat. Ryan smiled. Glad we're finally working together. The enemy ship fired first. 2 plasma blasts rocked Starlight Rat, shaking metal and setting sparks flying. But Ryan was faster. He dove low, flying just above tree level. Rilke, left turret, now! Pew, pew! 2 blasts struck the enemy's shields. They flickered. Ryan pulled the ship hard to the right, grazing mountain cliffs. The enemy followed. They're locking missiles, Rilke warned. Diverting power to rear shields, Ryan said. Hold tight. The sky lit up with fire. The first missile missed. The second one didn't. A direct hit cracked the side of Starlight Rat. Red lights flashed everywhere. We're going down, Ryan shouted. Rilke didn't scream. She grabbed the control and helped level the descent. They crashed through trees, plowed into dirt, and finally stopped. Half buried in the jungle floor. Smoke filled the cabin. Ryan unbuckled. Is Saya still secure? Rilke said, checking her scanner. But they'll land any moment. Ryan stood and handed Rilke her blade. He took his blaster. One more stand? She smirked. Till the end. Outside, the black ship landed. 4 figures stepped out, heavily armed, slow and confident. Their leader removed his helmet, same red visor Ryan had seen before. You ran far, he called out, but the galaxy's small when you owe it your life. Ryan stepped out from behind wreckage. She's not a weapon, she's a child. She's a key, a code, property of the Union Genetic Council. Rilke walked beside him. Then take us, but leave the child. The leader smiled. Not how this works. They fired. Ryan and Rilke moved fast, cover to cover, blaster and blade working as one. 1 enemy dropped. Then 2. But Rilke was hit in the side. Ryan caught her before she fell. No, no, stay with me. Don't stop, she gasped. Saya! The last soldier came forward, gun aimed. But before he could fire, a small figure jumped from the shadows. Saya, holding her toy. Leave them alone. The enemy froze. The toy. It has the data, he realized. He reached forward. But Ryan raised his blaster and fired point blank. The last enemy fell. Silence returned. Ryan dropped his weapon and ran to Rilke. She was alive, but bleeding again. "We're safe," she whispered. "Don't talk," Ryan said, pressing bandages. Saya knelt beside her. "Mama, we won?" "We did," she smiled weakly. "Is he my dad now?" Rilke laughed and winced. "If he survives patching me up, maybe." Months passed since the crash on Elyara. Ryan stood outside the wooden cabin he helped build by hand. Birds sang overhead. Wind moved through the tall bluegrass. The jungle had grown quieter, as if the planet itself had accepted them. He looked up at the twin suns in the sky. Peace was rare in the galaxy, but they had found it. Behind him, the cabin door creaked open. Saya peeked out, wearing a flower crown and carrying her toy, still with the secret data inside, now long deactivated. "Are you ready, Captain Dad?" she asked. Ryan laughed. "Captain Dad? That's new." "It's your promotion." Inside the house, Rilke walked slowly but strong. Her wounds had healed. Her eyes no longer held fear. She wore a soft robe stitched from local fabric, simple but beautiful. Ryan watched her from the porch steps. She raised an eyebrow. "You're not having second thoughts, are you?" "About what?" he teased. "Planting those tomatoes?" "Absolutely. About you too?" "Not a chance." Saya clapped. "So it's happening? Like really, really?" That evening, under glowing lanterns made of firebugs and vines, 3 people stood in a small clearing. No priest. No official. Just stars. Just love. Rilke spoke first. "I never believed I'd live long enough to see peace again, and I certainly never thought I'd meet a man who'd fight entire skies, just to protect a girl who wasn't even his." She looked at Ryan. "But now, she is." Ryan smiled. "When I met Saya, she asked if I was single. I thought it was a joke, but now I realize it was fate in a child's voice." Saya beamed. "Told you I was smart." They exchanged simple rings, carved from Elyaran stone tied with plant fiber. There was no grand speech, just a promise to stay, to protect, to be a family. After the small ceremony, Ryan and Rilke danced in the moonlight, slow and quiet. Saya ran, around them with a ribbon pretending to conduct the stars. "Now we're official," she shouted. "No more lonely nights, no more hiding, just us." Ryan picked her up and spun her around. "And what next, Star Princess?" Saya giggled. "We build a ship again, but this one only goes where we want," Rilke added. "And only if we want." "Deal," Ryan said, kissing both their foreheads. Later that night, as Saya slept curled beside her toy, Ryan and Rilke lay side by side on a wooden bed. "Think the galaxy will come for us again?" she asked. Ryan looked at the ceiling. "Maybe, but this time we're not running." He squeezed her hand. "They'll have to go through all 3 of us." Rilke closed her eyes, then let them come. But deep down, they both knew the girl they'd protected had ended up saving them too.